Hey, how's it going everybody? Cub Fan here, and today we are literally standing on the precipice of 1.8. Minecraft 1.8 that is, the next major update to the Minecraft game for PC. And seeing as we haven't had a major update in nearly 9 months now, there are a lot of things that have changed in the world. Some of which you can see here, other ones which you may not have even known existed. So I'm going to attempt to chronicle all the 1.8 survival changes here, so nothing with command blocks or commands, just the pure survival changes that you'll notice. And seeing as there are so many, I'm going to go ahead and split this video up into 6 different sections, which you'll see on screen now. So the first section is the different blocks that have been added. Second section are mobs and new mob behaviors. Third section is all about the enchanting changes. Fourth section is all about the changes to villagers, villager breeding, and villager trading. The fifth section will be all about the changes to redstone and redstone mechanics. And the sixth change will be miscellaneous changes. So go ahead and select whichever section you'd like, or just wait, and we'll go ahead and get started. This is all about survival Minecraft in 1.8. Okay, so first of all we have some new blocks. We have Diorite, Andesite, and Granite. So let me show you how to craft all of these up. They also all naturally spawn in every biome. So first of all, the Diorite is crafted using quartz and cobblestone in a 2x2 grid like so. Then if you combine Diorite and cobblestone, you get Andesite. And then if you craft quartz and Diorite, you end up getting Granite. And that's how you make these 3 types of blocks. And of course there are polished versions of these as well. Just go ahead and place the material in a 2x2 crafting grid, and you will get the polished versions of each of these respectively. Next up are slime blocks, which can be made by placing slime balls in the 9x9 grid like so. And when you place these slime blocks, they'll make the sound of slimes. Next up, let's look at some of the properties of these slime blocks. So first of all, if you try to walk across it without jumping, it'll be slower than soul sand to walk across. Slime blocks can also prevent fall damage from any height, and you'll see you'll get a bounce back effect when you land on it. You can also hold spacebar to negate the bounce back effect and get down quicker. Also, mobs like creepers and other entities will bounce on the slime blocks as well. Okay, continuing on now with the mechanics of slime blocks. If you stand on top of a slime block while a piston underneath you extends, you'll be launched up into the air like so. That also works with mobs, minecarts, armor stands, and a lot of other entities. Also, you can use it to launch items, and the items themselves will actually get launched higher than the player. Now on to pistons moving slime blocks. So only slime blocks connected to the piston, either directly as this first one is, or through other slime blocks, as all the rest of these are, can be moved by the piston. And it will also move blocks connecting to it up to 12 blocks. So you see we have 7 blocks of slime here, and we have 5 spruce wood blocks. And that moves perfectly fine, but if you add another one, so that makes the total 13, doesn't work. So the normal 12 block limit still applies. Also, slime blocks don't connect to certain blocks, so for instance obsidian, a furnace here, also melons and pumpkins I know they won't connect to. And you'll see that here, as it doesn't move those blocks. However, if an immovable block is preventing the piston from extending with the slime block on top, it obviously won't move. And the same thing applies to blocks that the slime blocks are connected to. So for instance, this will all try to move up 1 block, but it will be stopped by this piece of obsidian here, and nothing will happen. And I just want to note here that it's useful to know that slime blocks can attach and pull non-extended pistons, so you'll see that right there. We also have new crafting recipes for blocks that were previously a little bit more difficult to obtain. So for instance, placing vines and stone bricks into a crafting table will now get you some mossy stone bricks, and these were previously only available in the End Fortress. Also, if you place vines and cobblestone in the crafting table, you'll get some moss stone. This was only available before in dungeons and in jungle temples, and also in the mega taiga biomes. And then if you place stone brick slabs in a crafting table like this, you can now make the chiseled stone brick, which was previously only available in jungle temples. And finally, you can also now smelt some regular stone bricks, and that will turn into cracked stone bricks, which were only previously available in the End Fortress. Next new block is the Iron Trapdoor. It is made by a 2x2 grid of iron ingots. And if we place it down on the side of the block here, you'll see you can't open it by right-clicking it. It only reacts to a redstone signal for opening and closing. Next up, we have a slight change to mushroom blocks. So if I just go ahead and grab a few blocks here with my Silk Touch axe, you'll see that when I place down the mushroom blocks, they now have the same texture on all sides, and this applies to the red mushroom as well as the brown. The next new block is coarse dirt. Coarse dirt does not allow grass to grow on top of it, so it'll always remain with this same texture. And it can be found naturally spawning in mega taiga biomes, but you can also craft it up just by placing dirt and gravel on a crafting table like that. That'll get you some coarse dirt. And you can also till coarse dirt to turn it back into regular dirt. And now grass can grow on it. Now come the new underwater blocks. So if you take 4 prismarine shards, which you can get from guardians, you will see you can get some prismarine. And you'll notice that the prismarine actually changes color slightly over time. And the only place this is naturally found is in underwater temples. You can also make prismarine bricks by just simply placing prismarine shards in the entire crafting grid like so. And there you go, you have prismarine bricks, and these are also only found in the underwater temples. You can craft dark prismarine by simply placing an ink sac with prismarine shards surrounding it, and that gets you dark prismarine, again only found in underwater temples. Next up we have sea lanterns, which are crafted with prismarine crystals and prismarine shards in a pattern like this. There we go. And these are also naturally spawned in underwater temples, and you'll see they have like an animation here as well, and they each give out a light level of 15. You can also now obtain sponge legitimately in survival via underwater temples and as a drop from the Elder Guardian. And if you place a sponge block adjacent to a water block, it will delete all water source blocks within a 7 block radius, and you'll see it takes on a darker complexion and it starts to drip some water. That's because it's actually changed now. It's absorbed water and changed into a wet sponge. And you can place a wet sponge into furnaces, and that will turn your wet sponge into a normal sponge, and you can once again absorb water with it. Okay, next up we have banners. Banners can be placed on the ground by right-clicking like that, or you can place them on like a wall, for instance, just by right-clicking on the block you want to place them on. Now you craft them up with some sticks and some wool, and whatever color wool you use here, that will be the base color for your banner. So here you see I have a lime banner like that. Then you can also add designs. For instance, if you want to add like say a corner blue piece, you can add one like that. You can also stack designs. So here we'll add a red piece on top. And say you didn't like that, you can go back and place a cauldron down, right click the banner into the cauldron. It'll consume 1 water but get rid of your most recent design edit. And you can stack these designs up to, I believe it is 6. And so you can have 6 different designs on top of the base color. And there are thousands and thousands of different possible combinations of these banners. I'll provide a link in the description to a site which allows you to make your own banner first, and it shows you how to make it in-game. You can also copy a banner by placing the banner you want to copy into the crafting table with a blank banner, and that will leave you with 2 banners of the same design. If you really don't like the design of a certain banner, you can also use the banners as fuel, but it only smelts up 1 block. Also new in 1.8, we now have armor stands. They can be crafted with a stone slab and some sticks in a configuration just like this. Then you can go ahead and place them down just like so on the ground, and right click them with armor to put armor onto them. And then right click again to get the appropriate piece of armor off of the armor stand. And the armor stands are also affected by gravity, as you can see there, and they stack up to 16. Next new block is red sandstone. Red sandstone can be found in the Mesa biome at the entrances to caves. There are also some variants, including smooth red sandstone, some chiseled red sandstone with like a wither face on it. There are red sandstone stairs and red sandstone slabs, and the crafting recipes for all these are the same as for sandstone. We also have 5 new types of fences and 5 new types of fence gate in 1.8. So here's the default oak that's always been in the game. But we now have acacia, dark oak, junglewood, spruce, and birchwood fences and fence gates. And the recipe for the fence has actually changed. So just go ahead and select the planks of the corresponding fence you'd like, and just place the planks on the sides like this, sticks in the center, and there you go. That's the new fence recipe there. And the fence gate recipe has remained the same, but again, just select the appropriate planks for the fence gate type you want, and there you go. Fences and fence gates. There are also 5 new door types in 1.8, so we have the acacia door, junglewood door, spruce wood door, birch door, and dark oak door. And the crafting recipe remains the same for the doors, just use the appropriate style planks. So that's it for blocks. Let's go ahead and move on to mobs now. And the first change is a change in slimes. You can now see that slimes can now swim, and they're actually a lot faster moving in water, as you can probably tell from this little guy right here. Wolves will now attack bunnies, as you can see here. And the bunnies usually can outpace the wolves, but the wolves occasionally get some hits in, and yeah, they kill the bunnies. If you have a named pet, and your pet now somehow dies, you'll see that the death message will now show up in chat. Tamed wolves will now attack skeletons, and you'll see the skeleton running from the tamed wolf because he's scared. And the skeleton won't fight back until the dog hits him a few times and he's cornered. If a creeper is about to explode, nearby mobs will now run off quickly. Yep, you saw that skeleton there. He booked it to the water, and there he is. Still fine. Alright everyone, so we now have a new charged creeper mechanic in this update. So you'll see a charged creeper right down there. Whenever that guy blows up and kills another mob, it will drop the mob head. You can only get 1 mob head per explosion, however. And the mob heads you can get are the wither skeleton skull, regular skeleton skull, creeper skull, or zombie skull. And you can also put these skulls on armor stands. So you can do stuff like this in survival now. So let me just show you this. We'll light that charged creeper. See the skeleton died there. We'll jump down, and there we go. We got the skeleton skull. Also new in this update, mobs like creepers, skeletons, and zombies will all now actively attack iron golems. Also in 1.8, if you kill a sheep, they will drop some raw mutton, and you can smelt this raw mutton, cook it up in a furnace, and that will produce cooked mutton. And cooked mutton will restore 3 of the drumsticks of hunger, and also provide 9.6 saturation. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the new mobs here. So the first one here is the Endermite. As you can see, it's a little mite-like creature, purple in color, has some end particle effects around him. He's less than half a block tall, but he can't fit through half block tall gaps like this. So let's just let him out. And you'll see he does track the player here. If we move around, he's trying to get to us. He's pretty quick. Just about as quick as the player, not quite though. He does 1.5 hearts of damage on hard difficulty, as you can see here. And he himself has about, whoa, he himself has about 4 hearts of health. So that means you have to hit him 8 times with your open fist to kill him. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So there you go. That's the Endermite. And let's take a look at how they spawn. So Endermite can spawn whenever you teleport with an Ender Pearl. There's a 5% chance that it will spawn an Endermite. We'll see if we can get one here. Let me just get some more health here. Hopefully we can get lucky here. Alright, let's try again. Oh, there we go. So yep, we got an Endermite there. Like I said, there's a 5% chance when you use an Ender Pearl that an Endermite will spawn. Also, I just want to dispel a common myth. For some reason, a lot of people believe that Endermites spawn near Ender chests. However, that is not the case. I've tested it more than I care to admit in survival. Opening and closing this chest, putting items in, taking items out. Tested it at night, tested it in the end. Not a single Endermite will spawn. You can try it out for yourself, but Endermites have nothing to do with Ender chests. And one curious thing about Endermites is that they actually suffocate in soul sand. They can still move in soul sand, but they do indeed suffocate and die in it. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, and one thing that has changed since a lot of this stuff first came out with the Endermites is that Endermen are no longer aggravated towards Endermites, even when you're in survival and you leave the area. So this eliminates a lot of the easy Enderman farms. Alright everybody, next up is the Guardian. As you can see here, Guardians will attack the player and squid near these underwater temples, and you can see there, does 4.5 hearts per hit, so they're quite deadly. Let's go ahead and take a look at them in closer detail here. So here's what a guard looks like normally. You can see they have some spikes on there, and you can see that their eye sort of tracks you as you move around. A couple more facts here about the Guardians. So they have a range on their beams of about 15 blocks, as you can see here. So he can't hit me here. He can hit me here though. Alright, so these Guardians have 15 hearts worth of health, so you have to hit them a few times, even with a diamond sword. And at 1.5 hearts per hit, it's highly recommended that you get some armor before taking any of these guys on, especially underwater. But they do drop some prismarine crystals and prismarine shards, and they can also drop fish of all types. And it's also worth noting that if you have a Guardian in the water, they can still target you even if you're on land. So make sure and hide behind those blocks so they can't shoot you. Next up we have the Elder Guardian, and he has a similar ranged beam as his smaller counterpart, but this guy does 6 hearts of damage each time he hits you, so on hard difficulty without any armor, 2 hits will kill you. And also, yep, you saw it there, he has a little bit of a jump scare and gives you Mining Fatigue 3 whenever you are within 50 blocks of him. So definitely a formidable opponent. So when you have Mining Fatigue 3 like this, you can't really do anything. You can't dig any blocks, you can't even break leaf blocks for instance. So you're pretty much stuck with what you got in terms of the blocks that are on your person. The Elder Guardian also has 40 hearts of health, and whenever you hit him, you'll see you are hit with 1.5 hearts of damage. So yeah, definitely do not mess with this guy without armor, no doubt. But once you are able to slay him, we just hit him a few times here, you'll see that he does drop a few different things. So he can drop prismarine crystals, prismarine shards, some fish, and also each Elder Guardian will drop 1 wet sponge, and there are up to 3 Elder Guardians per underwater temple. Also, it's worth noting that whenever Elder Guardians or regular Guardians swim like that, you'll see their spikes are retracted right now, and if you hit them when they're in this state, you actually don't get the damage you normally do when hitting them when their spikes are extended. So hit them whenever their spikes are retracted like that. Next up we have bunnies. So you see we have a brown one here. There's also like white ones. There's a black one. There's a brown one here, and here's a baby one. So bunnies have 5 hearts of health apiece, so you have to hit them twice with a diamond sword. So once, twice, and you see it drops some stuff there. We'll get to that in a second. But you can actually breed bunnies with dandelions, carrots, or golden carrots. So you'll see if we hit it with a carrot, comes up with some hearts there. And same thing happens if you use like a dandelion or a golden carrot. There you go, you get the hearts. And if he's close to another rabbit with the hearts, they will mate. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these rabbit drops now. So we have some raw rabbit first of all, which can be cooked up in a furnace to make some cooked rabbit. Now cooked rabbit, seen here, can be used to obviously eat, and it restores 2.5 sticks of hunger and 6 saturation points, so pretty decent. Rabbits also drop rabbit hides, which can be used to craft up some leather. You put it in a 2x2 grid like that, so you can craft up some leather now. And rabbits also drop this rabbit's foot very rarely, so that's a rare drop. But you can use this in a brewing stand, and that will make some potions of leaping. Now this first level of Potion of Leaping will allow you to jump 1.5 block high gaps, so you can jump over things like fences and that sort of thing. But you can also put glowstone in here, make the Potion of Leaping 2 for the jump boost 2, and that'll allow you to jump 2 high gaps. And there is one more rabbit-related food item, and that is the rabbit stew. So if you place the bowl in like that, put a baked potato in the middle, mushroom on the side, carrot on the other side, and some cooked rabbit on top, that's when you get your rabbit stew. Now, rabbit stew restores 5 sticks worth of hunger, and also restores 12 saturation, so it's one of the best food items currently in the game. Also be sure to protect any carrot farms you may have, because these rabbits have been known to eat some planted carrots. There, you little nugget. Get out of here. There are 2 special rabbits in the game. The first one is this one here named Toast. And any rabbit named Toast will have this special skin that is not available in wild rabbits. And this guy right here is the second type. This is the Killer Bunny. You can see he has a unique texture, sort of has like bloody paws and bloody mouth, bloodshot eyes. And let me just show you here. I'll go into survival game mode. Right here. And he should, yep, come after me. And I'll show you he does 6 hearts of damage per hit on hard difficulty. So definitely a force to be reckoned with, especially if you don't have armor. And yeah, there you go. So that bunny has a 1 in 1,000 chance of spawning whenever a bunny spawns, so pretty rare, but definitely keep an eye out for him. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the changes to enchanting. So if we open up the interface here, you'll see there are 2 slots. This leftmost one is for your tool or weapon, and this rightmost one is for lapis lazuli, which is now a requirement for enchanting. So you'll see here, if we scroll over these enchantments, you can't select them right now because they're not unlocked. But the numbers here indicate what conditions you need to meet to unlock them. So this leftmost number is the number of pieces of lapis lazuli you need to unlock that enchant. And this rightmost number is the number of experience levels that you need to have to unlock the enchantment. So you need both of these. So for instance, if I put in 1 piece of lapis, it unlocks because we have 1 lapis in there and at least 5 experience levels. If I put another one in there, we have 2 lapis now, and at least 10 experience levels. And if I put in the 3rd piece of lapis, you'll see it doesn't unlock, because although we have the right number of lapis in there, we do not have 30 experience levels on our person. We only have 22. Also, you'll notice the tooltip shows one of the enchantments that will be on your item. So here, if I select this one, I get sharpness 1, this one I get sharpness 2, this one I get looting 3. So you can at least somewhat get what you're gonna, or know what you're gonna get from enchanting now. However, that was on the diamond sword. If we put in the iron sword, you'll see we have the exact same enchants. So you cannot change what enchants you get on the sword until you actually enchant. The same goes for the other tools. You're stuck with these until you actually do an enchantment. So just be aware of that. That's a little different. Also, you'll see this says 30 levels here, but it actually only takes up 1, 2, or 3 levels to do the enchant. So for instance, if I go ahead and put 2 in there, if I go ahead and do this 2nd level enchantment, you'll see my level down here will go from 22 to 20, just like that. So the enchantment costs themselves have been greatly reduced, although the levels required to get those enchants has remained the same. Now, it's also been made a little bit more difficult to level up in the game. It's a little difficult to show, but just trust me. And to compensate for that, Mojang has reduced the amount of experience needed to do things like name tags. So if I change this to just name, see that only took 1 level. And if I said, for instance, name this Diamond Pickaxe of Justice, that also only costs 1 level. And repairing has also been reduced in cost. But if you name an item, so say I name this Old Betsy. If you name an item just like that, you can't keep Old Bessie around forever, because naming will no longer keep the enchantment costs low. So I know that will probably upset some of you, but yeah, I think it's for the best and it's more balanced. Also in this update, there is a brand new enchantment on boots, and that is the Depth Strider enchantment. So you'll see here, if I jump into water without these boots on, how slowly I move. But if I go ahead and plop those on just like so, I can now swim and walk much faster underwater. Alright everyone, let's go ahead and take a look at some changes to villagers in this update. So first of all, we're going to take a look at breeding, and then we'll take a look at trading. So villagers, in order to breed in the 1.8 update, still need a village, but they also need to be willing. Now there's two ways that villagers can be willing to breed, and the first one actually has to do with trading. So if you trade with a villager on a fresh trade, that's a trade you've never done before, they will actually become willing. So say I did this trade here with this guy. Cooked fish. So there we go. Alright, so this guy is now willing. And then if I trade with this guy, say some raw chicken here. Again, that's a trade I've never done before. So that guy is now willing. So now if we wait just a second here, we should see these villagers breed here. Oh, there we go. So we finally got a baby villager there. It took a little bit of time, but he's in there. There he is. So as I said, if it's a fresh trade you do with the villager, then the villager will become willing to breed every time. And then if there's enough doors, yeah, they'll find a partner and they'll make a little baby villager. If it's not a fresh trade though, for instance, if I made this trade again with this guy, so if I did this, now he has only a 20% chance of becoming willing to breed. So if you do a fresh trade, he'll become willing every time. And if you do a trade you've done before with him, there's only 1 in 5 chance that he'll become willing. The second way that villagers can become willing to breed is if they have enough food. So in the most recent update, villagers now have a hidden inventory where they can hold food. And they will become willing to breed if they have 3 bread, 12 potatoes, or 12 carrots in their inventory. And they'll consume those items in order to become willing to breed. So say if I give this guy 3 bread, if he'll pick it up. He didn't pick it up. Oh, there he goes. He picked it up. Okay. So he now has 3 bread. And he will become willing to breed and consume those bread if it's been over 5 minutes since these 2 bread last. Now, if I continue to give him more bread, let's just say I give him the whole stack, you'll see something pretty interesting happen here. He should give up that bread. Yep, there you go. He's giving some bread, spreading the love around. And so this villager can actually pick up food. And basically what will happen, he'll give half his food to another villager, but only if that other villager needs food. So this guy saw this guy needed food, and he tossed him some bread. Same thing can happen with potatoes and carrots. And yeah, that basically is how a village will become repopulated. And I'll show you these guys can pick up and replant crops as well now. So I'll just show you here that these brown-robed villagers can pick up and replant any crops, so any wheat, potatoes, or carrots that they find fully grown on the ground. And yeah, you'll see he's methodically going through this field and harvesting it and replanting it. And he will also turn wheat into bread, and that's how he helps to feed the village and also helps villages to repopulate. Okay, so now we know how to breed these villagers. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of their professions and some of their trades. So here's the first guy here. We have a Fletcher. The Fletcher can actually buy string. He also sells bows and arrows and things like that. And he also converts gravel into flint. You'll notice it says the profession of the villager right up here. And he has 2 trades unlocked initially. Some have a little bit more. Some have 3 or 4 sometimes. But if we go ahead and do one of these trades here, let's just do this one. You'll see we got some experience. And then it unlocked 2 more trades. So it's much easier now in 1.8 to unlock trades. Let's go ahead and keep going down the line here. This guy, we have a sort of a silver iron robe. He's the butcher. So the butcher can obviously sell meats. He hasn't really changed too much. And we're moving on here. Have the shepherd. He's a new profession. He sells wool and colored wool, and can also sell some shears to you. Then we have the farmer. Farmer can now buy melon blocks. He can buy pumpkins, potatoes, carrots, and he sells cake and pumpkin pie at different times. And you see he has a lot of trades unlocked now. Let's see here. We have the weaponsmith. Weaponsmith obviously sells some weapons, so axes and swords. Here we have the leather worker. The leather worker can sell leather, obviously. He can also sell enchanted leather items, and also buys leather here. Then we have the fisherman. Fisherman will buy string. He'll trade you for coal. He will cook normal fish, and he can also sell enchanted fishing rods. So could be potentially useful there. The cleric. Cleric has a trade I know a lot of people have been wanting for a long time, and that is the ability to trade rotten flesh for emeralds. So that is a very, very good trade there. However, this guy still does sell bottles of enchanting, but he's raised his prices astronomically high. So it now costs between 3 and 11 emeralds for one single bottle of enchanting. So get your bottles of enchanting now, because this guy is raising prices. Then we have the librarian. The librarian can now sell you name tags, so that's pretty good. He also has a bigger array of enchanted books to sell you. Then we have the armorer. Obviously sells armor. And yeah, he can also sell enchanted diamond armor, iron armor, and chain armor. And finally, the toolsmith can sell enchanted picks and shovels, so also pretty useful there. So those are all the villager professions available in 1.8 and some of the notable trades. Now on to the changes to Redstone. So now if you have a comparator behind an item frame and put an item in that item frame, you'll see that it will output a redstone signal strength. And that signal strength is based upon the orientation of the item in the item frame. So you'll see if I go ahead and cycle through here, you'll see the lamps light up accordingly. And the signal strength power goes from 1 in this orientation all the way up to 8 in this orientation. Also, one of the most useful features in 1.8 is you can place buttons now on the floor or the ground and on the ceiling. And dispensers have gotten a lot more useful this update, so they can now place armor onto armor stands just like so. Just like that. And they can also do some other stuff like place the heads onto player-made mobs. So there we go, we got an iron golem there. And there we go, we got a snowman right there. Powered activator rails will knock any entity inside a minecart out of that minecart, just like so. And you'll see it'll shake as it goes over the rail itself. Just like that. So that's really useful. And we also have a new type of sensor. So here's the daylight sensor, but if you right click it, it will turn to a what I call a nighttime sensor, and it gives the opposite output of the daylight sensor. So for instance, if I change this to time 1800, you'll see here now it's the dead of night, moon is directly above us, and the nighttime sensor gives the full output while the daylight sensor is off. And then if you change it back to midday, it's about the same, and then at noon it's the opposite. And now for some miscellaneous things. So first of all, you can now go into options and lock your difficulty by selecting this button, and that'll prevent you from accidentally changing the difficulty you're on when you enter the world. Doors will now stack up to 64, and you can also get 3 doors per 6 wood instead of just 1. Any villager that is now struck by lightning will now turn into a witch. You can now easily make copies of written books just by simply placing your original story into the crafting table with a book and quill. That'll give you a copy of the original story. And then you can make a copy of the original story into a copy of a copy. However, you can't copy the copied book. So this could be useful if you wanted just a couple people to have this story, only a couple copies maybe. Or if you wanted to use it as currency, you could also do that. There's a new achievement in this update as well, and that is the Overpowered achievement, which you get for crafting a notch apple. Signs have had their length limit increased. It's now based upon the width of the character. And also, they now have a breaking animation, as do chests. And also, heads now have a breaking animation. And there are also now randomly rotated textures in the game. It's best seen if I place TNT down. You'll see there, this TNT is in a different orientation than this one, which is in a different orientation than this one. And you can toggle on and off the random block placements just by doing the following. Just go ahead and hit escape, go into options, then you want to go into video settings and alternate blocks. That is currently on. If you want it off, just flick it to off and that won't happen. Beacon colors can now be changed by simply putting stained glass or stained glass panes on top. And if you want to combine some colors, you can do that as well. Also, beacon beams can now pass through more blocks, any non-solid block in fact, and that includes ice, leaves, and water. Okay, there are also some minor terrain generation changes, and there is one big structure change. So this is the underwater temple. This is the main new structure in 1.8. This is where the Guardians and the Elder Guardian reside. If we come down in here, you'll see it's sort of like a maze-like structure. There are some rooms with some sponges in it. And the whole thing is made up of prismarine and sea lanterns. And if we get to the center here, which I believe is this way. Yep, here we go. You'll see this dark prismarine, and then behind here is some gold blocks. And just a quick note about the generation of these underwater temples. They can actually generate in 1.7 generated terrain. However, they only generate in chunks where your inhabited time in the chunks are very, very low. Also new in 1.8, the Void Fog has now been completely removed. There's been a small change in the way that health is displayed in 1.8 as well. So for instance, if I walk into this cactus, you can see some of the light red hearts here. And that is all the damage I've taken in this one event. So there you see I took 6.5 hearts of damage. There I took 1 heart. And there I took 2 hearts. So it now can show you exactly how much damage you take in any single event. Also a minor terrain generation change. Villages will now generate with cobblestone underneath of the gravel paths here. And that is to prevent the gravel from falling down if there's a ravine or something in the middle of the village. Caves will now generate in desert and mesa biomes. And in the mesa biome you'll find red sandstone at the entrance to most of these caves here. Also new in 1.8, the way that villages are created has changed. So now if you place down a valid door, it will automatically get added to the nearest village, which is this village right here. So yeah, that sort of prevents village stacking, but there are ways to get around it, and I'll provide a link to Tango Tech's iron farm in the description, and he'll explain how to get around that. There are also some new statistics in 1.8, so if we go into statistics here, you'll see at the very bottom here, you have the new statistic Talk to Villagers, and also Traded with Villagers. The trading part is pretty self-explanatory. Any trade you make where they emit the particle effects, that's considered a trade. And talking to the villagers is considered every time you open this window, that's considered talking to them. And you can see that because now this will go up if I do something else like break a block or something. So let's go ahead and try it now. It should say 100. There you go. Wow, so apparently, yeah, leather workers can also plant and replant crops. That's kind of interesting. But the final miscellaneous fact is that clay instead of wool is now used in desert temples and also on the interior here for the floor. So that is all the survival features that you need to know about for Minecraft 1.8. Please let me know if you liked this video in the comments, and I will make more in the future. So thank you all for watching. This has been CubFan. Goodbye.